Everyone, welcome to another exciting edition of Words, Images, and Worlds. On this episode, I am looking at the tempest in the corner. I hope that you're safe from that storm that's behind you. Talking with author, artist, creator Ray Fawkes. Ray, thank you for joining.
It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Thanks for coming and chatting with me for a few minutes. And I know that we're talking about The Phantom, the new book that you're working on, but certainly glad to talk about any additional creating that you'd like to mention. You have The Intersect, you have work in the world of Justice League Dark and Batman, and a range of creating Black Hammer, which is a
Mhm.
great universe. So, folks out there have a lot to check out from you.
Mhm. Yeah.
Curious by means of a first question, when you're tackling a project, and it could be the Phantom, it could be one of the ones I just mentioned, or anything like that. What are some of the elements, the ideas that you keep in mind, especially working across such a wide range?
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, whenever I'm hitting a new project, really, there's the main element that I keep in mind is sort of the feeling that I'm going for. For example, with the Phantom, we're going for like high adventure, right?
Mhm,
So I
mhm.
definitely have like a feeling in mind, and then usually, generally, there is something obviously that I want to say. I mean, I'm an author, right? So that is on my mind the whole time. In fact, usually or ideally, everything you see on the page, the characters, the dialogue, the story, the plot, everything reflects what it is we're talking about, really.
Yeah, yeah. What was your introduction to the Phantom like?
I mean, originally, my introduction to the Phantom was that I saw the movie with Billy Zane in the 90s.
Yes, uh-huh. Remember
And
that one?
and it was kind of at a point in the 90s. I was a fan of like pulp adventure stuff, and there was this sort of brief revival in the 90s where there were movies like Dick Tracy and The Shadow and The Phantom. They all kind of happened close to each other. And I remember at the time I was like, well, I'm really familiar with Dick Tracy comics and The Shadow's stories and radio plays, but I don't know too much about The Phantom. And I saw the movie and enjoyed it. And then after that, I kind of went digging around, found some collections of the Phantom comics, really enjoyed them. And so, I've been, here and there, I've been reading them. I've been reading some of the newer stuff and then a lot of the older stuff. And always had a good time with it. I love like he's like a rollicking, adventuring hero. There's a lot of things about him that I love that are actually kind of um, not very common in some of the more recent, heroes. And by recent, I mean in the last like 30, 40 years, right? But I do think they're timeless. So when I heard that Mad Cave was getting the license, and I started to pitch them on the Phantom, I was really excited about bringing some of these qualities to the title.
Oh man, that at least partially answers the next question, which is, what did you hope to bring to this, and what did
Oh,
you hope
yeah.
to explore with the story? Yeah,
Yeah,
love
to
that
me, like,
classic pulp sensibility.
yeah, the classic pulp adventurer, and to me, like, the Phantom is he's like very capable, very strong, adventuring type who, as far as I can tell, and certainly my reading of him, he really enjoys what he's doing.
Hmm.
And so that's actually that was a big part of my pitch. That's a big part of the book, is that the Phantom and all of his close allies and his wife Diana, they may have moments where they complain or moments where they're in danger, but truly most of them are in this. And the Phantom himself is very much in this because he really gets a kick out of it. For him, like there's, he's an adventurer, right? It's like it's in his blood, right? So for him, like, yeah, fighting pirates, fighting criminals and terrorists and whatever, there are high stakes, but he's also getting a thrill out of what he's doing.
Yeah, uh, definitely that fun aspect of it, as you mentioned, the adventure, and then there's just such an interesting mythology with the character too.
Yeah, the mythology is amazing. The setting is fantastic. To have him out in the jungle. There's so much we can work with the setting and the animals there and the people there and it's great. It's such deep I almost want to say like it's like delicious like a big buffet of like amazing little things that we can look at and pick and talk about.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Now, curious about anything that you would like to say about the creative team, because I know comics are collaborative, so any shout outs there?
Yeah, so I mean, Russell Olson is drawing the book and coloring the book and doing an astonishing job. I mean, people will have seen he did the Free Comic Book Day issue, which was, sort of where we brought him into this, and I was blown away. I like it was one of the first times where, as I was communicating sort of what I was going for, the person that I was dealing with seemed to um, not just click right away, but be sort of like preempting what I was asking for with exactly what I was going to ask for. He really has a handle on not only the sort of like exciting, pulpy, comic book kind of feel to it, but also sort of there's like a timelessness I was going for, where the stories with the Phantom could be taking place. It could be the 1950s. It could be right now. He's done a really, really excellent job with creating this kind of like fantasy world of like timeless, sort of joyful crime fighting.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of that timelessness, I love the generational aspects of the character. I also saw the film when it came out, saw it with my dad. I'm curious, before we tell folks where to find out more about you, anything that you hope that the uninitiated and those that have been well established with the character, anything that you hope that they take away from the
Yeah, I
series?
mean, I love the generational aspect of the Phantom too, and we definitely do go into a little bit about his legacy and the records that he keeps of previous generations of the Phantom. Um, but we don't focus on it too hard, at least at the beginning, because I really want readers to get to know Kit Walker, like our current Phantom. And so I think new readers will hopefully just really enjoy the character for what he is, and then, over time begin to understand the sort of deep tradition and the legendary status that his family has. But more experienced readers or ones who are more familiar with the Phantom will see what are basically Easter eggs for them scattered throughout, where there are things that point towards older stories or even older versions of the Phantom. Um, yeah, it's kind of funny, like taking on a character like this, because there have been so many versions of him, both within the world of the story, but also as done by different authors. So it's really, really fun to kind of pay tribute to all of that, with a new sort of take on him.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, looking forward to seeing the way the storyline emerges and anywhere that people can go to find out more about you. Anything that you would like to say about what's next and your plans for the series?
Yeah, well, I'm on Instagram, fox.ray, and people can see like, some images and things there. Also, Russell is on Instagram as well, so people can find him, Russell Olson. He tends to show some images too. And then, I do podcasts like this, and Mad Cave does a fair amount of publicity. I don't have a huge online presence. I kind of steer myself away from online because I just put my head down over my work a lot of the time.
Hmm.
But people can find us here and there, especially through Mad Cave.
Nice, nice. Well, many thanks for the talk, Ray. Anything that we missed that you want to make sure to share before we close?
Well, the first issue comes out in September, I believe. and I'm really hoping people pick it up, especially people who saw the Free Comic Book Day issue. They'll see that it's
Hmm.
kind of, the excitement keeps running like as hard and fast as it did in that issue, the Zero issue, and I'm just really looking forward to people having a look at it and hopefully enjoying it.
Yeah, yeah, I had, of course, pre-ordered the Free Comic Day issue and looking forward to seeing the series.
Oh, great. Yeah, I'm really pleased about that.